Hey everyone, it is Josh Golightly here. It's good to see y'all tonight. Did you know that everything has a life cycle? Yes, you and I have a life cycle. We live, we go through struggles, we die. It happens. Your faith has a life cycle too. And that's what I want to talk to you tonight about is the 5 parts to your faith's life cycle. So if you're new here, I'm Pastor Josh. Welcome to Welcome Life, where I'm here to teach you how to live a life different from the world, a life for joy, peace, and happiness that only comes through Jesus Christ. If you're watching, consider hitting the subscribe button below. That way you don't miss a single episode. I go live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Alaska time. So if you're on the trying to do math, or your central time, that's about 11 p.m. If you're on the East Coast time, that is midnight. So pick a time and you can do some math there. So let's just dive right into the content tonight, guys. And I want to talk to you again about the 5 stages of your faith life cycle. 5 stages. So the first one is this. The first part of your life cycle is no faith. No faith. You don't have any faith at all because, well, it's kind of like you're a newborn. It's before you're conceived, you know. There is no life. You're not there. There's just nothing. So you don't believe in God. You don't believe in Jesus. You don't believe in anything. There's just absolutely no faith at all. And so the next part of our life cycle is when life begins, okay? It goes in, you have a little bit of faith here. Okay, what that means by when I say a little bit of faith, that means you believe there's God, you believe there's Jesus, but you're having a harder time putting your whole heart into it. And it's like your faith is just a little bit there. It's not completely there yet because, well, you still have some doubts here, right? Is God really with me? Is he still here? I don't really know. So the next part that we go into after you start to grow in your faith is you have faith. So now you went from no faith to actually having faith, meaning Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. You believe in God. You believe that Jesus came to die for you. You believe that when things happen, he is going to be with you. So you have faith. No matter what happens, you have faith. And so that brings me to my next one is it grows to passionate faith. It grows into a passionate kind of faith, meaning no matter what life circumstances happen, you will have faith in God. It's that faith isn't going to waver. It's just like if you jump, everyone compares it to this, but jumping out of a plane with a parachute, is that passionate faith also leads you and compels you to talk about Christ. It compels you to say, this is why I have faith in Jesus Christ. That's what passionate faith does. Now, the thing about it is, after that, it can lead to go back to having no faith. Now, you're probably wondering, well, Pastor Josh, that's not true. I have faith. My passionate faith just won't go from no faith at all. You're right. It won't. Because most of the time you end up having doubting faith. So you go from passionate faith to start doubting your faith. Because life happens and somewhere down the line, you start to doubt that God exists. Now, you may be wondering again, Pastor Josh, that's not going to be me. Guys, even John the Baptist questioned Jesus being the Messiah. Okay, even John the Baptist, who knew Jesus was the Messiah, at the end of John the Baptist's life, questioned him. It happens. We have doubting faith. The question is, will you let that doubting faith lead to no faith at all? Will you let that lead to where you have your passionate faith and then will you let it go from where you have your passionate faith right here, okay, to having no faith at all because you start to doubt right here? Like, that's not where you need to be. That's not what needs to happen. Okay, because if you allow this to happen, then what's going to end up happening is you're just going to go here, and it's going to have a hard time for you to come back even here. So don't allow this to happen. And now what ends up happening majority of the time, is that this is the cycle people go through. This is the cycle people go through is they end up having little faith. So you now have your faith, and you have little faith, and then you have faith, then you have passionate faith, and then you move to doubting faith, and then it just starts a whole life cycle all over again. Because what happens is you have doubting faith, you have to grow your faith again, and then you have to actually get back into this whole rhythm. This is most people's life cycle of faith. Most people's. You very rarely go from passionate to faith to doubting faith to death. Most of the time you go from passionate faith to your doubting faith. Now, guys, I tell you all this because I want to let you know that having a doubting faith is normal and natural. The whole thing about this is that you can stay having a passionate faith. You have to develop a lifestyle of that faith, getting into your word, staying in prayer, looking towards God. And that is how you will develop a life of faith. Now, question of the day is, has this life cycle happened to you? Has this life cycle happened to you? And if so, how many times has this life cycle happened to you? Are you going through this life cycle and you are like, Pastor Josh, it has happened numerous times, but my faith is still unwavering. And for you, I applaud you because that is fantastic. So has this life cycle happened to you? And so if it has, let me know in the comments. I'll be praying for you because this life cycle's happened to me too. So guys, this is all I have for today. It is short, sweet tonight. So I want to wish y'all all a happy new year. I hope that everything continues to go well for you. And as always, it's time to be different. It's time to live different. Welcome a life full of Christ this year. Till next time, guys, you have a great night.